Welcome to episode 7 of Digital Innovation Talks. My name is Magda Bakali. I'm a project manager at Stimmuli For Social Change. We are a social enterprise based in Thessaloniki, Greece. Digital Innovation Talks is the theme of our AfriConEU vidcast series. For the ones wondering what a vidcast is, it is simply a podcast that contains video content. So the series includes 12 monthly episodes from April 2022 to March 2023, and each episode will explore a different topic related to the EU-African digital innovation hubs and startup ecosystems. For the ones who watch us for the first time, AfriConEU is a project that aspires to create the first Trans-Continental Networking Academy to support African and European digital innovation hubs in capacity building, knowledge sharing, networking, collaboration, joint projects, and venture development. So the project has received funding from the European Union's Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Program and is implemented from February 2021 until January 2024. It involves 4 partners from Africa and 7 from Europe. So let's get started. The topic of our episode today is financing mechanisms as a tool to build transcontinental partnerships. Let me introduce to you our guest for today, Miguel Sousa. He is the CEO and European Funding Advisor of INOVA in Porto, Portugal. Welcome, Miguel. And could you tell us more about you and INOVA and your background and your career, please?
Hello, Magda. Thank you very much for this kind invitation. It's a pleasure to be here and to talk about this important theme that I believe can be really interesting for organizations in Europe, but also around the world. So starting by my company. So we are a company specialized in supporting the growth of organizations through innovation, international cooperation, digital transformation, and access to funding. We position ourselves as key players throughout this innovation cycle. So we support our clients to develop their innovative ideas and to create value on those ideas. So we work with all kinds of organizations, from startups to large organizations, from local municipalities to central governments, universities, research centers, social NGOs, business associations. So I used to say that our raw material are creativity and good ideas, and we pick up on that to develop projects and to raise value on what our clients wants to do. To talk a little bit about me, I am a guy from the science, so I'm an engineer. I start my career as a researcher in a research institute in Portugal. And you know that the life of researchers is not easy. And we need to search for funding. And we need always to search for funding at national and international level. And my expertise on trying to identify good sources of funding to support research started by need to support my research background. It was on material science. And that's the way I started. So I started identifying sources of funding for my own projects. And I developed several research projects in Portugal with different companies, with my research institution. But then in 2004, I had this invitation to join INOVA. And at the time, I think that I was the 9th or 10th employee at the time in 2004. And from then to nowadays, we are now more than 100. I started as a project manager. Today I'm the CEO of the company. So it was a long 20-something years. And my expertise now is to work in funding schemes at global level. And I'm specialized in this moment in focus on cities and to develop a co-creative process working with cities around the globe. And in resume, it's more or less the stage that I am today. If you ask me, maybe next year, probably new information will come because we are always trying to do new things.
Thank you very much for providing this information about your very interesting background and how you built on your knowledge, which is great. We reached out to our community and we have collected some questions. So I'm gonna bring some up for you. So I will focus on the financial mechanisms you already mentioned before. And could you provide a short overview of the financial mechanisms that the EU offers to support or build transcontinental partnerships?
Yeah, the European Commission, it's very active in terms of promoting international cooperation between Europe and other regions in the globe. And there are some financial mechanisms to develop these transnational partnerships that most of them are based on the Neighborhood Development and International Cooperation Instrument. So it's a long name, but it describes what are the policies behind this strategy to make Europe the best continent to interact and to develop innovative projects at global level. So inside this Neighborhood Development and International Cooperation Instrument, you can find a huge package of funding in terms of money. It's it's almost 80 billion euros to support this policy. And there are some programs that they are organized in five kind of programs or five kind of instruments. You have the geographic programs that are more than 60 billion euros to support projects between Europe and, for example, Sub-Saharan Africa or Pacific or Caribbean. So as you can see, it covers the whole globe. But there are also international cooperation in terms of thematic programs, more focused on human rights and democracy, on civil society organizations to promote peace in different regions of the globe. Another one, it's about what the European Commission calls the rapid response to crisis. So imagine, for example, that you have a climate crisis or energy crisis or even humanitarian crisis caused by war, by local wars around the globe. There are some instruments. The Commission has more than 3 billion euros for this kind of urgency support that also helps other regions to get resources to reply fast to some kind of urgency that happens in their region. And then there are other funds to support innovative projects, digital transformation projects. So I would say that the full package, there are a policy. It's clear that the European Commission develop a policy to cooperate at international level. And a policy without resources means nothing. So this moment we have more than 80 billion euros supported in different strategies to work together with organizations, all kinds of organizations outside Europe. And this neighborhood program is the umbrella that manages most of those schemes, and is something that allows to be followed because there are always publishing opportunities for EU and other regions outside Europe cooperation.
That's a great mapping of all the financial mechanisms. So I'm going to focus now on transcontinental partnerships. Why do you think they're important, and what context are they important, and why is the EU interested in transcontinental partnerships?
Well, the international cooperation, if you look to how European Union is built, we are built by a large number of member states, all of them with different culture, with the strong frontiers. So I think that Europe, based on the experience to develop this European Union, it's working together with other international regions to continue the support of more collaboration, more inclusion, to work on climate change. So it's really important for Europe to stay connected with other regions. From one side is to provide and to share the knowledge and the learnings of Europe with other regions, but also to learn and to try to get talent and to get investment also to Europe. To give you an idea, European Union is the leading donor of development assistance and cooperation in the globe. So the EU proposed legislation and policies to promote good governance and human and economic development, such as fighting hunger and preserving natural resources. So there are the interest of the European Union is to first to support those countries. And when we talk about, let me say just this before going directly to some of the programs that can help other regions outside Europe. This international cooperation is not only working with countries that need our help, it's also working with countries that have more competencies, more knowledge in areas that Europe needs to develop projects. For example, we have international cooperation with Canada or with even the United States or in Asia. And this is a way to stay in the state of the art of technology, of innovation, and that is quite important for Europe. On the other side, there are the global social responsibility of Europe. So we are one of the bigger donors at global level, and of course that we need to work together with countries that have some needs, and there's to end poverty and hunger, for example, or to protect future generations, or for example, to ensure a good quality of life and to protect nature, or to implement partnerships to work projects that can bring benefits for local economies. So there are a full range of activities that Europe can develop. But the main idea that I would like to give is that we are not only it's not only on one direction, it's in both directions. So we are supporting international regions to be more developed, but also we are learning, getting access to talent, getting access to technology, and bring that technology to Europe. And that way, it helps us to be more competitive at global level.
That's great that you brought up the need from both sides. Would you be able to explain, if we'll go back to the EU, which of these mechanisms that we already talked about are better suited to build transcontinental partnerships, specifically in the field of innovation and technology that you already mentioned?
Yeah, all these programs, they are very important, and I believe that some of them are more known than the others. But I will look to Horizon Europe. Horizon Europe is the biggest innovation program at global level. Not even, I think that only in the States with the Pentagonal program, they have more money to support innovation. So, and inside Horizon Europe, there are also international cooperation, open calls where it's possible to involve organizations from other regions, from Africa, from Latin America, from Asia. AfriCon, it's a good example of that. AfriCon, it's a project funded by the European Commission with a partnership with African countries. So Horizon, it's I would say a good opportunity and a good example on how to translate a policy into a program in the field. And there are very good examples of projects that are supporting organizations around the world to work with Europe at different levels. And maybe is the one that we can highlight more in terms of innovation and technology, because the others are more focused on social issues or, for example, to raise capacity in those regions. But for sure that Horizon Europe, in the different pillars of the Horizon Europe, you can find good opportunities and good examples of projects in place. So projects that already finished or are running, that are developing great results, and it's being a huge opportunity for all kinds of organizations to start working with European organizations.
And do you think that companies, universities, and organizations located outside of the EU are sufficiently aware of these financial mechanisms like Horizon 2020? If they're not, how can they find out more, you think?
Yeah, that question, I can use the same question to make to European organizations. And even in Portugal, we can ask, I have doubts if the universities and research institutions and NGOs are fully aware about the European opportunities. So I think that still we have a problem of raising awareness about these opportunities at the European level. And this problem of course, is bigger, is at global level. So yes, I think that there is a lot of work to do to raise awareness about those opportunities. It's not only communication; it's engaging. It's working with them to make them understand what are the potential of these programs to change their reality. But to give you a direct answer, yes, there is the need to make more investment on raising awareness in these kind of projects.
Great. And drawing from your experience that is very wide, would you like to share a project, a partnership, or any outcome of a project that was a result of a successful use of one of these financial tools that we're talking about?
Yeah, I would say that in 2014 to 2017, INOVA managed a project in Guinea-Bissau funded by a program called ProInvest. It was a project of 1 million euros. It wasn't a big project, but the main goal of that project was to raise capacity in local entrepreneurs. Uh, and I remember, because I was there leading a team to implement the project, that we start by bringing very highlight approaches to support and the training of these entrepreneurs. But then we understood that they need more basic training, basic information to develop their business. I'm calling this project as an example because after the project ends, we make an evaluation about the impact of the project. And just from involving entrepreneurs that move from informal economy to formal economy, and this means that they are paying now taxes in Guinea-Bissau, the with more than it's 5 times more the impact on the economy of these organizations
Oh,
paying taxes than the 1 million euros that the European Commission invested to implement the action. So, and this is something that it was a good example on how to work on the field. Then the monitoring and evaluation of the project proved that the money invested, the return of an investment was really, really positive on the side of the political investment. So I would say that more projects like this one will help other regions around the globe to achieve a transformation uh, that can have impact during several years.
very interesting. Thank you for sharing. I think I have one last question for you. Which are the benefits and the challenges of financing transcontinental partnerships?
Well, the benefits and the benefits are clear. Well, if you when you have, as I said, it's the basis also for my company. So we need good ideas, we need creativity, but this is not like spontaneous. You need to create the conditions to good ideas and creativity pop up. So you need resources, and this kind of the benefits are mainly about the having access to resources that allow you to develop good projects. This is really important because normally these organizations do not have the resources, but also they do not have the networking to scale up their good ideas. So the benefits are access to resources, access to networking, and access to knowledge that can help them to develop innovative projects. The challenges are big because in this moment we have we have cultural challenges. We have also the language, because we are talking about countries that sometimes the working language in Europe is English, and sometimes they do not speak very well English. I'm talking, for example, in Latin America, or even in the Portuguese African countries that speaks only Portuguese. It's quite difficult for them to follow information on English. There are also challenges in terms of how to manage projects, because it seems too many rules for them to understand the benefits of the project. But squeezing everything, the benefits and the challenges, I believe that the European Commission is doing a great job in terms of international cooperation. More needs to be done, and I believe that the program from 2021 to 2027 is very ambitious. And projects like AfriCon, but also other projects that are developing their activities in different parts of the globe will play a very important role to make this investment more efficient, and that in the end will produce very positive results.
So thank you very much for the very interesting contribution, Miguel. Any final input or comments that you would like to share with us?
Just to congratulate the work that you are doing, and to thank you once again for the invitation. It was a pleasure to be here. And of course, that if this topic continue to be interesting for your audience, I will be available for questions or any kind of contribution.
Thank you so much. So, folks, that was episode 7 of Digital Innovation Talks in the AfriConEU vidcast series. Thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, and stay up to date. Stay tuned for the next episode.